How's it going, troops? Jordan here, back again with another Black Ops Cold War loadout video. Today's loadout is a military themed one, and one that I know a lot of you have been wanting to see. So today's loadout is titled Vietnam Veteran. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and let's jump right in. With this Vietnam Veteran loadout, we're going to be role playing as an American soldier from the Vietnam War. I never got the chance to create a Vietnam based loadout back in the glory days of Black Ops, so when I heard that Cold War was taking Call of Duty to the early 80s with a few sprinkles of the 60s mixed in, it made me happy knowing I would actually get the chance to create this loadout. As mentioned, this loadout's playstyle is focused on roleplay, and given that we're not putting an emphasis on gameplay and using the best setup, I've labelled today's loadout difficulty as hard. The Vietnam War saw a lot of interesting new weaponry being brought to the table, and the most famous and most used weapon by the American soldiers was the M16. So for our primary weapon, we'll go with the M16 tactical rifle. But of course we can't go in bare bones, so let's talk attachments. Our first attachment is going to be the muzzle brake 5.56. The muzzle brake reduces our vertical recoil by 10% and makes us a bit more accurate like the US troops were back in Nam. Our second attachment is the 16.3 inch rapid fire barrel. This barrel gives us that original M16 front body look that we see in archive photos and film footage without any detriment to our in-game weapon performance. Next attachment is the jungle style mag. Being a US soldier deep in the jungles of Vietnam, it makes sense to go with this attachment because of its naming. Plus, it's just like fast mags from previous games. Our fourth attachment is going to be the SASR jungle grip. And for similar reasons to our jungle style mags, we're not just going to go with this attachment because of the name, but also because it lets us snap onto targets quicker and makes us better resistant to flinch should any of the Viet Cong want to take us on. And lastly, our fifth attachment is going to be the tactical stock. This stock allows us to aim walk faster so we can check all angles better without leaving ADS. Plus it comes with this cool pouch like aesthetic that fits in with our loadout setting. So now that we've discussed our primary weapon configuration, it's time to move on to our secondary weapon of choice for this loadout. For our secondary weapon, we're going to choose the 1911 pistol. The M1911 was primarily the US Army sidearm of choice, since it was the most reliable pistol at the time. So to keep to authenticity, we'll equip the 1911 pistol as our secondary weapon. For the attachments on the 1911, we're not going to be too advanced since we are role playing as a soldier from the 60s. So we'll only go with one attachment, and that is the field tape handle. While the field tape increases our flinch resistance significantly by 90% in game, we're only choosing this attachment for the aesthetic of a bandage tape around the pistol's grip, since it further adds to that look of being a Vietnam veteran. So now that we've discussed our primary and secondary weapon configurations, it's time to talk wildcard and perks. For our wildcard selection, we're going to choose Lawbreaker. This wildcard lets us mix and match our weaponry and perks, but for this loadout we only need to choose perks from tier 1 and tier 2. Our first tier perk is going to be Paranoia. Paranoia provides us with an audio alert and a vision pulse at the side of our screen when an enemy is looking at us outside of our peripheral vision. American soldiers were constantly seeking out Viet Cong ambushes from the trees and canopy, and not knowing when an ambush was going to happen would have likely made them paranoid, so we'll choose this perk to replicate that. For our second perk, we're going to choose Flak Jacket from tier 1. Flak Jacket in game protects us better against enemy explosives and napalm, but the real reason we're choosing Flak Jacket is because the icon features a US military helmet and jacket that bears a resemblance to the helmets and military clothing that US soldiers wore during the Vietnam War, so we'll choose Flak Jacket to further fit in with this theme. And lastly, for our third perk, we're going to choose Gearhead from tier 2. Gearhead is a new perk to Call of Duty that acts similarly to Modern Warfare's Tune Up. This perk reduces our field upgrade cooldown timer and also lets us store up to 2 field upgrade charges. While this perk might not seem important now, it certainly will be when we discuss our field upgrade in just a moment. Moving on now to our equipment and field upgrade. For our lethal equipment, we're going to choose the frag grenade. Fragmentation grenades were standard for the US Army during the Vietnam War, with most soldiers equipping a grenade belt around them so they can carry more than one. A lot of the time frag grenades were thrown into tunnels and bunkers to clear out any Viet Cong hostility in the area. For our tactical equipment, we're going to go with a smoke grenade. Smoke grenades were also commonly used by the US during the Vietnam War, including the infamous nickname Willie Pete's, so we'll go with the smoke grenade as our tactical choice. And for our field upgrade, we're choosing the assault pack. Being out in the jungle with our brothers, we need to have each other's back, ensuring that we will have enough ammunition to fight against the bad guys. The assault pack is a small ammo cache that when supplied refills your ammunition, providing bonus score with each kill you get. Pairing this with the Gearhead perk, we can assure our platoon will have enough magazines and ammo to fight off the NVA. So now we've talked about our equipment and field upgrade, it's time to finish off this loadout with our Scorestreak selection. For our first Scorestreak, we're going to choose the Napalm Strike. The Napalm Strike makes its return from Black Ops and drops in a bombing run of fiery napalm across a designated area. Napalm is very famous for having been used by the United States during the Vietnam War, so we'll go with the Napalm Strike as our first Scorestreak. For our second Scorestreak, we're going to go with the attack helicopter. The US Army piloted many attack helicopters such as the AH-1G Huey Cobra and AH-1J Sea Cobra, so we'll choose the attack helicopter as our second Scorestreak to replicate that. And finally, our third Scorestreak is going to be the Chopper Gunner. The classic UH-1 Huey was also piloted back in the Vietnam War, and it's such an iconic helicopter from that era. We see this chopper not just in old pictures and film footage, but in lots of Vietnam era movies as well. So that's why the Chopper Gunner will be our third and final Scorestreak. So troops, that wraps up my Vietnam veteran loadout video for Black Ops Cold War. Next time you boot up Black Ops Cold War multiplayer, definitely give this class setup a try in game, and welcome to the jungle. If you did enjoy this loadout video, then give the video a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then why haven't you? Hit subscribe right now and also click the bell notification icon next to it, so that way you're always notified as to when I make an upload. If you have any friends who might be interested in this sort of content, then share the video around with them to help give my loadout videos and my channel more widespread exposure. And if you want to see behind the scenes previews of my loadout videos, you can follow me on Twitter at jordanxbrookes for all the latest on there. So until the next video, I thank you all for watching, stay true to me troops, and I'll see you in game.